All you see
That's not loud.
on CNN is anti-Trump slogans and white supremacy. But where are those good old conservative values?
You're singing on top of
and
your
the faith
recording.
in God. Lucky there's the Orange Men Pod. Lucky there's two men who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. We are the Orange Men Pod. Welcome everybody to another stellar
singing.
episode of the Orange Men Podcast.
I'm singing.
He will never sing,
I'm singing in my head.
and that's okay with me.
It's all right.
I heard you sing. Now I ain't saying I'm good or anything,
No, it's fantastic, man.
but I heard you. But I heard you sing.
It was good. It's always good.
Listen, we're doing the show.
What's
tonight.
up, Dave?
Well, we're doing the show tonight in front of Old Glory here.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I'm a little disappointed in America right now. It's going to shit. It's going
It's
to
in
hell in a
distress.
handbasket. Yeah, I don't know how to save it.
You should put it upside down.
No. Distress flag. Is that what that means?
Yeah,
Upside down?
upside down American flag is
Well,
in
I was going to put it backwards like we were going into battle because we're going to have to be doing that soon. We got to go into battle. I just want to tell you, though, I'm disappointed in the silent majority. And I was one. I was part of the silent majority.
All right.
That whole year and a half when this whole shit was happening, when cities were burning and BLM was out calling everybody racist and Antifa was tearing up the cities and
Right.
killing people, the silent majority kind of laid low. And the reason why we did was because we didn't kind of want to start any trouble. We didn't want to piss anybody off or make anybody angry.
I gotcha.
We didn't want to fly our American flags because we didn't want anybody to think that we were racists.
Oh,
And,
I don't know who wasn't doing that, but
well, a lot of people weren't doing that. I mean, I was looking at some stories today. There was some people who took their American flags down because they were afraid of the repercussions of having
BLM in your neighborhood.
this new racist symbol. And, and every time we had a disagreement with them or we had an argument or we didn't feel the way they felt, there was no conversation, and that was the big problem. And that's what's founded this country. We were always able to air out our differences, and we didn't always agree, but that was okay. We could still get along.
Yeah.
And now it's got to the point where if you express your opinion and it's different from theirs, they don't talk with you. They just call you names and call you a racist or a white supremacist or.
Well, that's the easy way out.
Yeah,
Because they don't have.
But we took that.
They don't have a fact-based argument.
No, they don't. But they discovered that calling somebody a racist works.
Yeah.
It works. It shuts us up.
No, some people.
Because a lot of people.
Well, they've been doing that for years and years and years, the Democrats.
I just had a bad feeling.
Yeah, and I don't like being called a racist because I'm not a racist. That's painful when someone calls you that.
Dirty.
Yeah, it's
lazy.
right. You don't want to take the time to get to know me. You just want to hate me and call me a
It's
racist.
not even that. You don't want to take the time to actually research your arguments or your points. It's just when you start winning an argument or you're making your points, you're racist.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
You're totally right, Dave. That shut people up.
Yep.
You say that. Well, be quiet. Don't be calling me that. I'm not that.
Well, it's like what they're trying to do with the moms and the dads at the
Yeah,
domestic terrorists at the school board meetings. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Well, they're trying to make what's that guy's name? Smith. I don't know.
Oh,
I forget the guy's name, but for the past month, because I think that happened back in June.
yeah. Oh, you're talking about the dad that
Yeah.
kid? Yeah.
Yeah. That dad is a hero.
Yeah.
That dad stood up for his daughter.
We're trying to make a fool of him.
Yeah, but prior to that, for a solid month, CNN was playing the video of him getting taken down by the sheriff's department and arrested. and trying to use that video to push their sleazy narrative
Yeah.
that parents at PTO meetings are white supremacists and domestic terrorists.
And hateful because they're not tolerant of your
CRT
Or
or
your other-
transgender
Yeah,
or whatever it is.
exactly.
And that's completely a lie. It's a
False.
fabricated lie. And CNN should be, that's a disgrace. They should be completely ashamed of themselves. Everybody who's part of that network is a disgrace and should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, they're not.
That father went to that PTO meeting because his daughter was raped in a bathroom by a boy wearing a dress. And the father spoke out at that meeting, and they didn't like it. And he yelled. He yelled at them. Thank God that's all he did.
That's all he did.
Yeah, he yelled, and he was arrested for yelling and resisting. It's a goddamn disgrace. And he got prosecuted and convicted and had to do 10 days in jail.
For what, like trespassing and stuff like
But
that?
the boy who put the dress on and raped the 9th grade girl still is roaming free.
Well, I think he's arrested now
Well, I hope so.
because he did it again at another school.
Well, yeah, they transferred him, denied that he even existed, and then he assaulted somebody else.
I believe it was forcible sodomy.
And then they tried to turn it as this father is anti-transgender or anti-gay, and he said, you know what? I don't give a rat's ass what you are. I don't give a shit if you're a transgender, a bi, gay, whether you're a guy thinks you're a girl or a girl thinks you're a guy. You're a sexual predator.
Yeah,
and
that's all
you
it
need
is.
to be prosecuted. But no, the school board turned it into a transgender issue.
Well, because who knows what the
Disgusting.
who knows what the parents would have turned it into? Oh, you're discriminating against my they because they feel like a girl today.
It's
No,
a,
I agree with you.
it's a disgrace what we're doing. It really is. And I had
And
enough
it's-
of it.
it's-
And today we're in front of Old Glory because this flag represents all of us, every single one of us in this country. It doesn't represent racists or bigots or homophobes.
No.
It represents all of us. And it doesn't represent a political party or an agenda. It's none of that.
It's amazing.
It's freedom.
Yeah, it's the thing that
Liberty.
The thing that really grinds my gears, so to speak,
Hey, Peter Griffin.
is it's always the Democrats that are labeling everybody. They label everything. You know what I mean? Like why? Like kind of what we said before. Like you're American.
bastard!
It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Puerto Rican, whatever, trans, gay. You're
Trans gay.
trans
You just
or
make
gay.
that-
No, because it's definitely
trans,
separate.
gotcha.
Trans or gay or trans.
Well, you
But all
could be both.
I'm just whatever. I'm not going to get into semantics of the situation.
I think I would
the
like to
point
talk
is
about
that
that.
it's always the Democrats that are trying to label everybody, and then you fall under these certain person of color or
Yeah.
origin of this, and it's like, why? Listen, you're either, but if you were to call somebody an illegal alien or an illegal immigrant, hold on, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they label us to separate us.
But
And once
don't-
you separate us, we're no longer.
Together.
Together.
And that's the whole point. They're a dividing factor within this country. And until people really start looking at it and opening their eyes, going, who's the common denominator in causing all the influx of this problem? It's not. Listen, I don't care if you're like we said
1,000 times.
1,000 times on this podcast.
I'll say 1,000 times more.
on the show. There's assholes in every race. You know what I mean?
In every profession.
Yeah, you're either a dick. Sometimes people are a dick, and sometimes they're nice. You know what I mean? It's content of your character. If you're a good
Right.
person, you're a good person. I might be a crappy person one day, but they're like, man, he's being a dick today, but normally he's a nice guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's his problem?
Sometimes there's just people that are dicks all the time, and you're like, yeah, they suck.
Sometimes you suck.
So
Because
even
people have bad days.
But even like with CNN, like the stuff, I mean, it's just they're perpetuating this lie on top of another lie because they're trying to push this. You have such a minute, small
Yeah, but who?
minority of the population that they're trying to say that is this big. They act like it's 100 million people that are trans. It's not. It's probably
5.
100,000 maybe.
I don't know how many people are trans.
I'm just saying, like, it's not that much to where you need to dedicate all this time and effort to. And you know what? When people do make those mistakes, or not mistakes, but
Well,
when they do go in and have the operations and stuff like that, there's a lot of regret after the fact
Thought
because
we weren't getting into that.
no, what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like they regret doing it.
Well, they
After the
regret.
fact.
Some of them do, and some of them have said that. And I think that's why, when we were growing up, you weren't allowed to do shit until you were 18.
Yeah,
You're not allowed to drink till you're 21. You're not allowed to get your ears pierced without parental consent.
yeah.
But you can go
Tattoos.
in. Yeah, tattoos. What else?
You got your ass whooped if you're out late.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and now.
You come in when the lights go off in the street lights.
Right, and now you don't need your parents to get your penis cut off, or your tits cut off. It's sad.
Well, that's the
And I'm-
and
listen,
who's pushed that? The Democrats,
Democrats,
because
I
they're
know.
like, oh, we want everybody to feel inclusive, and it's like, all right,
All right, so listen, I didn't feel inclusive.
but stop taking the parental rights. That's what I mean. Like they want parental rights for certain situations, but not in these other situations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like healthcare is a right for well, not that kind of healthcare. We can't have you doing that because that's not the way we feel, and it's a small part of the community or the population that fall in line with what they're trying to push.
Well, I was your typical white male in high school, growing up, and I was bullied. I was picked on. My whole life.
Explains a lot.
I mean, well, but I've dealt. Listen, and I look back on that. What's funny is,
Well, it makes you stronger.
yeah, I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia, and back then the schools were just all white, and that's when they started busing the inner city kids to the Northeast.
Yeah.
So busing started, and the bus came in with all the inner city kids, and most of those kids, believe it or not, were white. The inner city kids, two of them. We had two black kids, and one of them, and I remember I'm not going to say his name, but I remember his name like.
Was it
it's-
Corn Pop?
No,
He was a bad dude.
Corn Pop. Oh, that's Biden. No, it was a kid named Charles. I remember his last name. I'll never forget it. And this kid, I guess, when he got to the school, he is surrounded by white faces. Maybe that's new to him.
Yeah.
Maybe he was uncomfortable. Maybe he felt that he had to
Lash out? Maybe?
or lash out and maybe, stake his claim and say, hey, I'm not going to be the minority here and I'm not going to get taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Maybe he was scared.
Yeah.
But he picked the biggest guy in the 6th grade, which happened to be me. I was skinny as shit, but I was taller than everybody. So he picked on me every single day. Every single day he picked on me. I would go home crying to my dad. And my dad would be the 5th, 6th grade. I don't know how old that is.
11, 12.
But I was a big pussy. And my dad said, listen,
You can act like a man.
either you hit him back, but don't come crying to me, because the next time you come crying to me, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
So, I look back on that, and I realized that Charles guy was just scared, and he was doing what he thought he had to do. I don't have no animosity towards him or to that race because I had an issue with them. I mean, listen, I grew up in the Northeast. I never saw black people. It was new to me, and I was scared. Here's this kid who was as scared of me as I was as scared of him, and it was a strange thing. But I've learned from that, and I learned not to hate him, but to understand him and know that he was scared too. And we put kids in those situations, and we don't care. And I just want you to know I learned from that, and we don't do that anymore. We see. We have a bad experience with some person, some character, and then we blame it on the whole race or the whole profession. And that's not right. That's not right. On both sides that happens. There's bad police, but there's a hell of a lot more good ones than there are bad ones.
Yeah.
And because there's one bad cop that does something stupid,
You got to defund everybody.
yeah, that's not right. That's wrong. There's a lot of bad doctors, too. There's doctors who kill people by accident.
What? He can't be sued or held
The
liable.
point is, there's a lot of bad people in every profession. You can't judge an entire race, creed, or color or profession by one asshole. You got to understand there's assholes everywhere.
Yes.
And You know, that's what makes America great, is that we all meld together and we all become one, and we don't have to hang out and party, because there's different cultures, and you know, different cultures like to do different things, and there's things that my neighbors do that I don't like to do, and there's things that I like to do that they don't like to do. So if we have things in common, it has nothing to do with race, creed, or color or religion. It's just that either we have things in common or we don't. But just because we don't hang out doesn't mean we can't be polite and pleasant and nice, right?
Yeah, man.
And
You don't have to convince me.
and politics has never been that. It's never been, you know what, we disagree, but it's okay.
Well,
It's
no,
okay.
politics isn't that. I mean,
Well, but politics has turned the American people against each other. And
well, it's also. I mean, go ahead.
and it's not, it's mostly the Democratic Party. Republicans aren't helping. There's
Well,
a
not
lot-
the ones at the top.
No, there's a lot of weak ones, and there's a lot of rhinos.
Kinzinger.
But I happen to believe that my values will help this country better. Like, I don't think that killing unborn babies is going to make this country great. I want everybody to have a choice with their body.
Well, you don't know what kind of people you may have killed
Well, yeah,
either.
you could have killed the next president of the United States, or the person who's going to cure cancer. You never know.
There's already a cure.
So I don't think that you can, you know, actually call me. I mean, you got the governor of New Jersey.
Yeah.
You see his new ad?
Which one?
We're going to move forward. We're going to keep choice. You know, to go around and just, we're going to kill babies and be proud of that.
Well, it's
How about Pelosi meeting with the Pope?
yeah.
What's he doing?
Well, it's you can't. What I said this a while. I said this a while ago. The Pope's not even the. It's not even the. It's not even the honor that it, I mean. The Pope is the Pope, whatever, but I don't think people hold it in as high as esteem as it used to be anymore.
You bastard!
I
You've
think-
been using my time machine to nail your boss skanks!
I think these last two are globalist punks that just are doing the agenda of, this guy. Well, you can get into heaven if you get a vaccine. Why does that matter all of a sudden? You can get to heaven if you take your vaccine.
No.
Get the hell out of here.
No. You can only get to heaven if you accept Jesus Christ.
It shouldn't be relevant.
What is that?
But that's what he's saying. Do your duty and get your vaccine to go
It's
to
not a
heaven.
duty.
Well, that's.
I got to take a duty, but that's not my duty.
I hear you.
My duty is to love thy neighbor. That's my duty.
Where's your Twitter thing? Because I want bring up your Twitter real quick. Because I got the one thing when we were talking about CNN lies. It's amazing. Because I don't know. Did you see Joe Rogan had Dr. Sanjay Gupta on?
I did see that. That was pretty good.
So he had him on. He raked him over the coals. He basically told him he's like, motherfucker, I can afford people medicine and stuff like that, which is a great line. It's the line of the year. So, Gupta was on Sweet Old Don Lemon last night. And,
What happened?
Huh? He's like the CNN.
Sanjay Gupta?
Yeah, he's the
CNN doctor. That's the guy they turn to for their...
medical advice.
Medical
and he was
advice.
on Rogan the other day and basically got his ass handed to him. And then
Where'd you put it?
hold on, give us a second. Hold on. No, what?
Oh, you see. On CNN.
This one.
Is Andy... This one here?
Yeah.
Katie Pavlich?
Yeah, Katie, sweet Katie. Go down. Oh, she's probably.
Mass and polluting the ocean?
Yeah.
That's a great point.
I don't know what she tweets to her. You should have just not clicked on her, but clicked on her.
Ah, well, you told me to click on it.
Go back.
I do what the guy tells
Click
me.
here. Just click.
Right here, Joe Rogan?
No, just click on there.
Here, you do it. This guy over here.
There, see, there it is.
Oh, you want to play it?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold
Because
on.
it's important.
there's
Because we're
a lot
talking
to
about how CNN perpetuates these lies with the father and the trans kid that ends up raping 3 kids, and it's like, oh, the dad's a bad guy, and then
Teresa? Trey, I need a beer.
you got Sanjay Gupta, because Gupta was on there and he was talking about how Joe Rogan took the ivermectin and stuff like that, and he's like, well, you lied, you flat out lied. He's like, well, they basically are trying to talk around how ivermectin's not really prescribed for coronavirus is what they try to go here, and he's like, well, I guess, but Rogan's like, dude, it's an effective thing.
Prophylactic. Or actually, after coronavirus, it's effective.
Yeah.
It reduces the symptoms. One of my guys today was telling me that he did the therapy. What do they call that? The antibody
Micro.
therapy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He said it knocked his coronavirus out in 3 days. He was up on his feet ready.
The thing that Joe Biden said that Florida can't have anymore, and Texas, they're going to limit their supply, but all these other states, we're going to let you do it because DeSantis, that's what he's
There's
been
not
pushing.
enough deaths in Florida.
Yeah, well, no, there is apparently, but they're lying about it.
All right, you ready? We're gonna play it.
Yeah, let's play it.
All right, here we
Because
go.
we can break it down. Because Donnie's over there like, no. He's like he's like walking them through, like, no. This is how it has to be, like, right?
All right, let's hear it.
Because we don't want
So
people.
very important. I know it's in large part a tongue-in-cheek interview, because it's Joe Rogan and there's a lot
yeah,
of jockeying back and forth.
Can't take him serious.
But he did say something about ivermectin that I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying. Okay, ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer. I think that's important, and it is
a lie.
not approved for COVID. Correct?
That's right. That's correct. It is not approved for COVID, and
You
you're
wanna
right.
keep your
I mean,
job?
The FDA even put out a statement saying, basically reminding people, it was a strange sort of message from the FDA, but they said, you're not a horse, you're not a cow, stop taking this stuff, is essentially what they said, referring to ivermectin. Now, I think what Joe's point
That
is...
it's been
is
approved
that
for humans, but not necessarily for COVID, right? Yeah.
That's correct. It's been
See how
used
he's trying to,
for-
like-
So it's been approved for
disease
humans.
something
Well, it's
called river
a Nobel
blindness,
Peace Prize
and it's been
winning-
very effective for that. But just because it works for one thing doesn't mean it works for something else. And there's still a few ongoing clinical
Or does
trials around ivermectin, but for the most part, if you look at the data, there's no evidence that it really works here. When Joe got sick, he took ivermectin. He also took monoclonal antibodies.
That's what it is.
Which is, an infusion of these antibodies. So he took both those things. It's very likely it was the monoclonal antibodies that made him feel better
not
so
the other
quickly.
thing. Not the other thing.
Sanjay, always a pleasure. I hope this was an easier experience.
Yeah, it was pretty
Joe
sweet,
Rogan. You
Don.
held your
You
own.
didn't
Yeah,
sodomize him.
3 hours. I mean, I don't think I've ever spoken to another human for 3 hours before just like that. It was really something.
Sanjay, thank you. Best of luck with the book as well. World War.
Oh, he's got a
Thank you.
book.
Well, he's a normal contributor anyway, but fuck, dude.
I know.
You kidding me? Like, so because this is like when Rogan first got coronavirus, when he came out and he's like, I was taking. Don't lose that because I got another video up for you.
there you
We
go.
can do it later. But when he posted it up, everybody's like, wow, he was doing this and like, all right, it's not horse dewormer. It's antiviral.
Right.
Like parasite remover,
right.
but it's also like all these
And it's
medicines.
also been improved for humans.
All these medicines are also for other things. You know what I mean? Penicillin is also for other things. You know what I mean? They found methamphetamines was also made for what? Another thing, and then everybody's like, "Oh, if you snort it, you'll be up for 4 days." All right,
Well, that was
fantastic.
the same thing with.
You know what I mean? Like all this stuff has other properties to it that other things.
Well, the original.
Cocaine.
No. The drug they use for boners, Viagra.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was a cholesterol drug.
Yeah, because it would open up your
Your blood vessels.
Yeah.
So they were doing this cholesterol drug, and they were seeing that guys were getting boners. So they said, "Hey, let's use it for that."
Time to rebrand it.
Yeah. Do that shit all the time.
Yeah, right. As long as it's not over 4 hours, you want to make sure.
Yeah, if it lasts more than 4 hours,
you gotta
then-
go. You gotta go to get your.
Let me just tell you something. If I get a boner, it lasts more than 4 hours. I'm calling every girl in the neighborhood. I'm not calling the.
Remind me.
Yeah. Hey.
Keep an eye on my wife.
Yeah. Well, I don't take Viagra.
Yeah. Well, you take those sketchy gas station pills.
No, I don't.
You told me you were like, "Hey, man, we're going to Atlantic City. What pill should I take?" I said,
He's lying.
not the one with the big bull on it.
He's lying.
You'll throw your back out.
Well, now that you mention that, I'm
The
gonna.
big bull on the cover.
What gas station?
All of them. I don't know.
All right.
Definitely all the Indian ones. They,
All right.
they love those.
I love
pillows.
those Indians. They're the best.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you wrapping up?
Yeah, I think we wrapped this one up.
But when we're talking about like CNN lying, like Don Lemon's almost sitting there like, no, but here, we can't have our,
Words in his mouth.
yeah, we can't have our people thinking that there's other alternatives to doing something.
Right, we can't have our people
other
thinking they
than
don't
just-
have to get the vaccine.
Yeah, than just getting a shot. And it's like, no, there's a chance that, yeah, you could, first off, there is a chance that you could do other things other than just go out here and jab it up.
All right. All right, we'll catch everyone on the next episode. It's been fun. It's been real.
Everybody hit that link tree
Fun.
to find our shows. Like, follow, and share. And thank you.
All right, Orange Man out.
It's okay to be American?